and you should be good to go.
Great.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, we'll call this meeting to order. Uh, the first thing I'd like to say is that I, this has been rough times for everybody as we've been going forward. I'm very pleased to announce that Corey Childs has agreed to join us on the board, and he's here for his first meeting. And before we go any further, Corey, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you very much for the introduction, Craig. I'm an Annapolis native who went to Broad Neck High School. Sports have been a part of my life from day one, as long as I can remember. Come from an athletic family and what have you. But after some time in Georgia, at the University of Georgia, and studying sport management, and some time in Memphis, Tennessee, I found my way back to Annapolis. And ever since, I've been really entrenched in the recreation and youth sport side of things, in particular working at a couple different high schools, as well as running a youth soccer organization here in Annapolis that's essentially community based. So I couldn't be more excited to have the opportunity to work with others and continue to benefit the greater good of Annapolis through sports and recreation. So yeah, very much excited to dig in.
Wow, what a great background. Thank you for taking the time to help support this. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot of great input for us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
And I guess we don't have any other board members here tonight. It's been helter-skelter, but why don't, Archie, I know you've got a lot to talk about, as you always do. And why don't you give us a director's report?
Okay, it's not going to be a lot because of COVID-19 has really suppressed us in terms of sports and athletics. But Corey, welcome to the advisory board. You're needed, believe me. I want to start off with Waterworks Parks. Waterworks Park is, if those of you who are not familiar with it, is not in the city proper. Is any of you not familiar with Waterworks Park?
No. Well, it's a tremendous asset we have.
Corey, are you familiar with it?
I'm familiar with it. To be fair, I have not been there myself, despite trying to get there many times and being recommended. And it's a spot my mom hikes around frequently. So.
Okay, understood. What we're trying to do at Waterworks Parks is to really open it up more to the public, really, make some changes there in terms of the trails. The bike trail was done last summer, but we're also going to be putting up some kiosks on Housley Road, to direct people into the park. We're also trying to get some occupancy for the building that's in the pump house, the original pump house at Waterworks Park. As you know, Waterworks Park was the original, the original, what do you call it?
Water company.
Yeah, water company. Yeah, pumped water into Annapolis. Yeah. So it was the original source for that, but the recreation department took it over after a while. So what we're trying to do is to really open the Waterworks Park up, not to the masses. We still want to keep it, a little incognito, for lack of a better word. We don't want to bring people in because we don't have any real supervision, because it's so isolated and it's such a pristine natural environment. We want to maintain that. We have beavers there. We have catch and release there as well, and people have to go and buy a permit at the Pitt Moyer Center in order to get through the gate. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to create a project there to open it up to the public a little more. The budget, we've cut about $300,000 off of the budget for for the upcoming fiscal year. Each department was charged with cutting 5% of the budget overall. It's not going to hurt us too bad. There was only 2 positions that we put up to relinquish, and that was 2 part-time seasonal positions. No full-time positions were given for firing. But the word is that the city may conduct furloughs across the board. So we may be able to keep those two positions. And one of those positions actually is a ranger at the Waterworks Park. And I explained to them how important that was, especially with the new initiative of opening it up, Waterworks Parks. We need some type of supervision there and someone to oversee, the activities there at the park. We will be returning to play at the Pitt Moyer Center very soon, in about a week. We've been shut down for a while due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But with the new release of the county executive's order guidelines, especially as they relate to fitness, sports, and athletics, we decided to open back up under certain guidelines. There's a 50% capacity for group gatherings, and we will follow that to the T. We have a e-learning program that has been in effect since school opened in September. And that continues both at the Pitt Moyer Recreation Center and the Stanton Community Center. And Corey, for your information, the Stanton Community Center is our other facility, if you will. It's a community center located in Midtown Annapolis, in the Clay Street community. It consists of a basketball court and many social service entities, if you will, such as dental, counseling, and other things. So those e-learning programs, and I assume everybody knows what they are, where the children, are learning virtually in school. Now, the school system will be opening up very soon, in about 2 weeks. So the parents will still have an opportunity. They will have the option to either continue the e-learning at the Pitt Moyer Center and the Stanton Community Center, or accept a hybrid combination thereof of virtual and in-school learning. So we're waiting to see how that's going to turn out. That's all I have for right now.
A couple questions on that, Archie. When you say virtual, are you thinking about virtual workouts as well? Because I've read a lot about that lately.
Yes, we have. We've had a few of those, but not many.
They're not very successful, are they?
I don't think so. It's kind of difficult, to. It depends on people's schedules and how you coordinate that. But we've had, I think, 2 virtual classes, exercise group classes, and that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, we've been talking about doing a bike race to raise money for the Pitt Moyer, Friends of Pitt Moyer. Lisa and I, once before, because the Waterworks backs up over to the Renaissance Festival. And we thought that, boy, what a great venue to have a race for people to raise money for Pitt Moyer as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something I'd like to discuss with you as well. The other thing I'd like to bring up is, first of all, I want to say Michelle Cross does a great job for you. She's really a great coordinator, and I appreciate working with her quite a bit.
Thank you.
As far as inside of Pitt Moyer now, is everybody required to wear masks?
Yes, absolutely. However, that has changed with the recent county executive order. You no longer have to wear a mask while exercising. So you can take your mask off while exercising. But once you cease to exercise, you must put your mask on. So if you're walking around in common areas, your mask has to be worn.
And along those lines, then, have you taken some of the treadmills and elliptical trainers and spread them out a little bit further?
Yes, we did that months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Archie. I really appreciate it. Just how far are we down as far as our budget compared to last year?
Well, I would say maybe we're down maybe 10% from last year, but
Is that all?
pardon me.
That's great.
Yeah, it's not that much difference. Between 5 and 10%.
And do you go ahead and limit? Do you keep a counter at the front door about how many people were in there?
No, not. That's a good idea, and I think it's even more important to do that now that we're reopening and restarting our play in different sports. I think that's a good idea.
And how about when you do your group classes, whether it's the power or the step, have you limited that to how many people can be in there?
Well, before it was 25%, and now it's well. Let me put it this way. A week ago, all sports and activities was eliminated.
Right.
We weren't having it. Now that the county executive order came out 2 days ago, now we're starting that process again. Now, another way of counting people coming into the building that I have to say is that each person that enters the building, regardless of whether they're a member, a drop-in, or even a contractor or whomever, or another city employee, they must fill out a questionnaire before they come in the building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense too.
Yes, it does.
How do you think the pandemic is going to affect the softball season?
Well, the outdoor sports and activities actually have a better chance of matriculating than indoors.
Yeah.
There's still COVID-19 protocol. You still have to maintain social distancing, and you still have to wear your mask under certain circumstances. For example, you have to wear your mask when sitting on the bench and maintaining social distancing. And we have all those rules in place.
Great. And I think that people follow those pretty easily. I think we've become acclimated to wearing a mask.
On the whole, across the board, yes, but you still have to supervise, and you still have to correct people and remind people of what they have to do.
Yeah. That's correcting as opposed to reminding as opposed to correcting. I think that's good.
Yes.
I think that's good. Okay. Corey, do you have any other questions for Archie?
Not necessarily specific questions, but just to piggyback on a couple things. So it seems and appears that the new executive order 42 was just revised and amended as of February 5th. So just this past weekend. And I mentioned that because of the face coverings, right, for outdoor sports. From my understanding up until this point, the participants, while even on the field, were required to wear their mask as well. But I'm looking at the executive order right now, which again, I think was revised by the 5th, states that you don't need to wear them on the field anymore. So it's been an interesting time to keep up with that. We're running a program right now that does have around 400 participants involved in outdoor programming. And in order to stay safe through that, we've, made sure that we're doing health surveys and questionnaires. Like Archie was mentioning, we have supervisors to space out equipment areas. We have monitors on the field to ensure, spectators are where they need to be. And so while it's not ideal, we've been effective, not only through a fall season, but also this winter time. And so I would also say that outdoor sports have a great opportunity to forge forward. It's been, curious to understand people's comfort levels with indoor sports. And, who knows, I guess, what comes next from that. But it's great to hear that the Pit Warrior Center, is opening up and pushing forward there. And so, Archie, when you're talking about the hybrid and the after school program, that's going to be a part of that reopening as well. And students are going to be able to get back in person if they choose to. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, we deal with elementary school children only.
Okay.
So it's their parents' decision as to whether or not they want to participate in a hybrid or continue with the e-learning exclusively. And they have, and the school system gives them both options.
Gotcha. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And for your knowledge, we've been paying for that e-learning experience for elementary school children during with the CARES funds.
Great. And so is that happening coinciding with like the schooling they're doing for the day, or is this an after school program?
No, they actually participate in their school.
Gotcha.
And then they stay there because their parents still have to get off from work, so they remain there in an after school setting, if you will.
Perfect. Great.
And Archie, that brings up a question. Do you have any idea of when the county schools are going to ask for the latchkey program to start again?
Everything in that bowl is
I
clean.
doubt if it will be this year.
Okay.
Because they're going through a lot of changes. Bob Mosier was on a leadership call with the City of Annapolis directors, mayor, and city manager on Tuesday. And, they have a lot of challenges in opening up as well. So I don't think the latchkey is going to come into a play this year. And Corey's latchkey program is a program of Annapolis Recreation Parks. It's a before and after school program for elementary school children that we run on site at elementary school.
Okay.
It's a tremendous program.
Yeah. No, I want to in time learn a little bit more about that and see just what other opportunities may be available to the students and youth in the area. I think the Pit Warrior Center in itself is a great facility, but meeting the kids where they are as well is another opportunity, and I think those can be expanded upon. The latchkey, if I'm not mistaken, it's included in the budget to a degree, and is kind of, as you mentioned, an initiative of Annapolis Rec and Parks. So it's like a priority.
Well, we have a line item for latchkey.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's a very effective program.
Yep.
And along those lines, Corey, what we might want to do is that we could get together, maybe Archie, you and myself, and whoever else wants to join us. And I've got some electric carts, and we might be able to take you on a tour, because we've got 17 different parks inside of Annapolis that people don't even realize.
Well, 40 actually.
Is it 40? Well, okay, yeah, even at the end of the streets, you're right. Thank you for that correction.
Right.
Maybe we could take a tour of Annapolis. And there's a lot about Annapolis that people have no idea about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think different organizations collaborating to share more opportunities is a really good way of doing that. Just I know organizations can have as many as 2,000 to 3,000 parents up underneath of them, and if one can help share information about another opportunity, another program in the area, that would be a neat thing, and help with that exposure to get people to these places like Waterworks and so forth.
Sure. And let's plan on doing that sometime when it's a little warmer.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, without all the snow.
And I'd like to stop for a second and thank Don Moyer for joining us.
All those emails I got, I went to the wrong site and so did Chris Ace. And I tried to text her the right one, so.
Yeah, well, first of all, we were going to do it one way, and we had to, we were going to change Hillary Radovich asked us to change the date from Wednesday to a Thursday. And I asked her about that, and she said, well, there's this other group that would like to have Wednesday. And I turned around and said, well, wait a second. We've been doing this for a lot of years, and Wednesday works the best for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you change it to Thursday, that is like a call night at work. I'm not out. Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's it. Can't do.
So we're going to keep it at Wednesday, okay?
Perfect. Okay.
All right. And Chris, did he join us as well?
No, Chris didn't. She couldn't get on. I was trying to text her the right site because I started flipping through everything, and I guess she couldn't get on.
Well, and Eric, you could probably address this better than anybody else. Can you do a dial-in number, or does it have to be via the internet?
Craig, I think Chris might be on, but I'm not sure if she can unmute her phone. It looks like,
yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she knows how to unmute.
Well,
Yeah.
star six would unmute her.
Okay.
Oh, this is Zoom though. It's different on Zoom, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if she's on a cell phone or.
She's
but it
probably
looks-
on a cell phone.
Right, because it looks like she's on, but it just looks like she can't get her phone to unmute.
Yeah.
Well,
And I know she's frustrated about that.
mhm.
Well, I think you should have an option. You should have, an option of Zooming or just primarily talking on the phone.
Well, we had that with Google Meet,
Right.
but maybe with Zoom it's different. But we'll look into that for the next time.
Yeah, I think you can call in, and it looks like she did call in, but you also have to unmute your phone. Maybe Eric can tell her how to do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's something
Yeah, that is her number. So
Yeah, this 443-995. I think, yeah, that is her number. So, yeah, and she's on mute.
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll work on that for next time. Maybe we can get together. As far as new business, I'd like to bring up this one thing. I mentioned it the last time we got together, is that we're trying to raise money directly for Annapolis Waterworks Parks. And Archie brought up the fact that when he was up in New Jersey, they have a bike race called the Tour de Franklin, which was in Somerset, New Jersey. And so we're thinking that maybe we could start putting on some events to raise money for whatever we want to call it, Friends of Annapolis, or the 501c3 that we have, which I've asked Chris to find out where the money, the $4,000 is, so we can start taking care of that. And it's a little bit easier said than done, because a lot of people had their hands in that pot about who was controlling it. And the guy who was with Severn Bank, he left, and that sort of thing. So I'll try to have something out via email to you by next week. And Archie and I are talking about, finding somebody that knows how to put on bike races, a little bit different than the running races that I put on. Because if we're going to do it, we've got to do it just first class. So that's one thing we're looking into. And in my notes, I don't have a whole heck of a lot more to bring up right now. So I put it out to the floor. Whatever y'all want to bring up and chat about.
Well, I do know that what we're trying to do is to enhance the penguin swim program at the pool, at the Kenneth R. Dunn Municipal Pool in Truxton Park. We might combine another swim team, youth swim team with the original Penguins, and create a varsity and JV sort of setting. But what we're also talking about doing is to creating, and because the time is of the essence, because summertime will be here before you know it. The pool is going to be open before you know it. So what we're trying to do is create a Friends of organization to support the swim program and other programs at the pool. So I don't know whether that'll conflict with the overall objective. I don't think so, because we have so many other aspects to recreation and parks, like the Pit Moyer Recreation Center. We already have a Friends of organization that does very well at the Stanton Community Center on behalf of youth programs. So I just want to let you know that.
And Archie, along those lines, I've looked into that. If we have a separate 501c3, you can accept the money, tax deductible, and it's going to make a donation. The foundation itself could say, hey, Archie has requested A, B, C, D, whatever they are. And then the foundation would go ahead and make that donation. But I think it's got to be separate from the city. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
And so, it's not like if that $4,000, we can't take that $4,000 and give it directly to Recs and Parks, because it'll go into the general fund. And if it goes in the general fund, it's just gone.
Whatever purchase, whatever item is being bought, the Friends of has to buy it. They have to make the purchase.
I understand that. So
yeah.
So anyway, I'm looking into all those things, and for the races we're talking about, for the bike race or for the Waterworks run, I think I can set up a separate 501c3 for that, and we could use that as being the umbrella to get everything done.
Okay, I do want to say that I think it would behoove us to bring in the Anne Arundel County Bike Organization into this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've talked with Eric, who's putting together all those trails.
Yes.
And he's been into another meetings, and they're enthusiastic about doing it. So I think we can make it.
Right.
But this is going to take a lot of work and a lot of planning to get this done right. But
yes, absolutely. Maybe 2 years out.
It could be. I don't see it this summer.
No.
No. But if you're going to do it, you've got to market it. And with COVID being what it is now, even though bikes, you get your 6 feet very easily.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you could ask bikers to wear masks. So I don't know.
Right.
Okay. Don, is there anything you'd like to bring up?
No, sort of got my mind on a few other things right now. So my other daughter is getting married on Friday. So yeah, there's a lot going on for me.
Say no more.
These COVID weddings are killers, okay?
I can imagine that, and you've got a lot on your plate. I want to thank you for taking the time to get in touch with us, being at the board meeting.
Glad to be here.
Okay. Corey, anything you'd like to bring up as being our new board member?
Nothing pressing, and being the new guy on the block, I don't want to put too much out there on the first meeting or anything like that, but do like some of the suggestions and thoughts and ideas that were shared tonight, and whether it's next meeting or outside of this meeting, happy to talk more about anything that makes sense or would be beneficial to the community.
Great. Well, again, it's a pleasure to have you on the board.
Yeah.
With that,
and Dawn, my sister got married in California in October, so I understand those weddings. So good luck.
Yeah, my other daughter got married in September and went out to Wyoming.
Nice.
at the last minute, because all the wedding plans are messed up,
Oh yeah, she became her own wedding coordinator.
That's it. Well, that's it. All her plans went out the window, and then now my son got engaged at Christmas, so it's just never ending.
Very nice.
Before everybody leaves, I'm going to be putting together the agenda to send to the meeting, so that Hillary will have it. So, and I try to get that done the Monday before the meeting. So if you guys have any new agenda items that you want to add on the agenda, if you could just email me so that I can include them, that would be very great. Thank you.
Tammy,
Well-
with all the meetings that you have to go, that you go ahead and take the minutes of, at least you don't have to be driving all over the place now.
Yeah, this has been, nice. It's one of those love hates because you don't have to go out, but sometimes the meetings go a little longer than they need to.
Well, we usually keep our meetings to about 45 minutes, I think.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So I'm grateful to that.
Okay, everybody. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Seconded?
Second.
Okay. Anybody want to object?
Anybody left?
One vote no. Okay, thank you all very much for taking
All
the
right.
time this evening. It's
See you.
great to talk with
All right.
you.
All right.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Thanks.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.